You ever done something like this before?
Close quarters combat? Infiltrating an enemy stronghold?
Something like that.
I once spent 6 days crawling through sewers during the siege of Tofar Ket to retake the citadel there. That's just one of many campaigns I've served in. My dress uniform is well decorated.
I'm glad we're here with you. We need your kind of experience.
I should say you do. And I'll be glad to have Lieutenant Itasca with us. She fought shoulder to shoulder with me in that siege.
So you're pretty close, huh?
She's like a daughter to me. She's saved my life more than once. She's more than just a comrade in arms.
She might already be lost. Dead, or it's a con. You need to be prepared for that.
I am. I know that kind of loss all too well. But once we have my comrades, proper soldiers, we'll be able to retake the bridge. Then, our fleets will catch up to us. The ATP is just down that corridor.
Is this the artillery platform?
This is the power distribution for the forward armament cluster. There was combat here. Disruptor burns on the walls. Signs of a grenade detonation.
Is there another way in?
The only way is through there. We could go halfway around the ship and would end up coming into this same area from a different side. But we'd still have to cross that.
The distribution conduits have been knocked loose. The currents in those lines would be lethal. Is there any way to power those down?
Each circuit has a control panel that regulates power to the magnetobanks.
I can track connections between the power lines and the control panels. I should be able to clear a safe path to your crew.
We'll get the door open here.
It's heavy.
You made it.
Barely. There's a lot of collateral damage out here.
They'd backed us into a corner.
We did that to drive them out. Put some space between us and the enemy. They're here. Get down!
I think they've given up on capture.
We'll never make it if we go back that way. You, give me a hand with this! Go! Go! Behind us!
Federation, you take the lead. We'll keep them busy.
Reach the stairs! Just run in there.
Must live to fight.
We let the enemy take them. Hadri and Private Turo.
They weren't the only ones. But if we hadn't, it would have been all of us. I'll have to live with that, and I'll answer for it when I die. It's not the Illidian way to leave one of our own behind. It's a sin to do so.
You did what you had to do. I know it. We all do.
And we knew it would come to this. Hadri knew. When we were in there, trapped, we agreed. We had to live to fight. We said, if one of us was taken, the others wouldn't stop. We'd keep going, make our way to the bridge. They died so we could fight on.
The Takan don't want them dead.
They want to steal their bodies. And steal their minds.
The Takan knows everything the host knows.
That means they know our plan. They know we're heading to the bridge.
Tylus, you should be in sickbay.
I'll finish this.
I couldn't just lie there knowing the entire fate of Hotari hangs in the balance. How did it go? You look exhausted.
It went about as well as could be expected, under the circumstances.
Oh, that's a relief, because I was fearing the worst. I heard a rumor that they'd made a deal, that the Elydians agreed to peace. After what we saw Sidron do to the diplomat in the mines, I could hardly believe there was hope, but then... Is that true?
There is a deal. The Elydians did agree to peace, and the Hotari have retained control of the mines.
That's incredible. I never thought it was possible. How did that happen? It all looked so bleak. I thought the Elydians would never agree.
I don't know exactly, but I think they were able to find common ground.
It's almost too good to be true. I didn't want to get too excited about a rumor, but if you're saying it's real, who am I to say otherwise? And the Queen? How was she? She must be thrilled there was a deal. War was always her greatest fear.
I'm afraid the truth is far worse than that.
I don't understand. There's no deal.
No. They're all Takan now. The Hotari, the Elydians, everyone.
What? The Queen?
And her advisors. Every one of them was bioformed. I'm sorry.
Where will I go? I can't go back. I don't have a home anymore. Everything I've ever known is gone.
Hotari isn't lost yet. This is far from over. It will be your home again, I promise.
Thank you.
The Federation stands with the Hotari. You don't have to doubt it for a second.
Yellow alert.
Commander Rydick, we need you on the bridge immediately.
Commander.
Good to have you back. You didn't opt for the ocular implants.
Maybe someday. The visor was the best the doc could do on short notice.
We've got an Elydian ship, the Veskar, rapidly bearing down on our position.
Or what was the Veskar. Now I'm not so sure.
Bring it up on the view screen.
600 kilometers in closing. Still coming straight for us. Commander?
Should we put our shields up? Just as a precautionary measure.
I'd like to avoid escalating this any more than we have to. Whatever the hell this is.
400 kilometers in closing.
Shields up. Ready phasers.
Shields up. Phasers ready. Incoming.
Lock phasers and open fire.
Heavy damage. But deflectors still at full power?
That bypassed our shields entirely.
That's impossible. God damn it, return fire. Everything we've got. Right in. Modulate the shield frequencies. See if we can get us any cover.
Commander,
I've got this. Just keep firing.
The shields still have no effect.
That doesn't make sense.
I'll try another. There!
We've got incoming! How do they keep matching our shield frequency?
They couldn't. Unless... They've compromised our shield algorithms. They can bypass our shields at will.
What?
Captain!
He's out cold.
Why'd they stop?
Damage report.
Running on emergency power. Major hull damage on decks 4 through 7. Warp core is stable and intact.
We're completely vulnerable.
Commander, we're being held by the Veskar. It's Galvin.
On screen.
Commander Rydak, where's your captain? Not dead, I hope. At least, not yet.
You're dealing with me. Is that a problem?
One inferior life form is as good as another. I have to give you credit, Commander. You survived longer than I thought you would. But make no mistake, your shields are useless, your weapons ineffective, and there's nothing you can do. I could destroy you at any moment. But I'd rather hear your pleas for mercy first. Your existence is entirely in my hands, and I'm not in a forgiving mood.
It's entirely possible you could destroy us. But the truth is, we're worth more to you alive than dead. Better if we report back to Starfleet about the power of Taconian technology, and the futility of fighting it.
There might be value in that. I've been thinking about what you said, Commander. That the Federation would stop me no matter what. Your performance in this encounter has not supported that claim.
The Veskar's weapons are powering up.
But the Takan are not mere savages. So I've decided to let you live. Because there's merit to the idea you're worth more to me alive. Tell your Federation that Takan are as merciful as they are powerful. That you were fortunate to escape with your lives.
We appreciate your mercy.
And you rely on it.
I've lost their signal.
Can you track their warp signature?
Nothing. It's untraceable, just like before.
Notify Ambassador Spock. I want everyone in the briefing room to discuss our options.
What's the status of the repairs?
Hull breach should be patched up in a matter of hours. Impulse power is at 67%. Should be fully restored soon.
Still no luck tracking Galvin's warp signature. They've all but disappeared.
Keep trying. Finding that son of a bitch is the best shot we got.
Commander Rydick, you had the Khan after the ship was attacked. What is your assessment? Given our current situation, and the losses we have suffered.
I think we don't know enough. We need more information.
In that case, we might have an option. Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takan Empire. If anyone could find Galvin, it would be him.
That's assuming he's willing to help us.
True, but there's only one way to find out.
Wouldn't we need to secure authorization from the Federation Council to contact him?
The nearest Federation outpost is Andoria. I can travel there by shuttle and inform them personally of the threat from the Takan. Meanwhile, the Resolute can travel to the Delphi Ardu system in search of Portal 6-3.
I still have my doubts.
I do not. Captain William T. Riker has first-hand experience with the area and with Portal 6-3. His guidance will prove invaluable and should alleviate your concerns.
Delphi Ardu 4 is a restricted zone for good reason. For all we know, we could be walking into a trap. Not to mention the high likelihood Portal 6-3's allegiance will be with the Takan. It's just too much of a risk. A waste of time. Time we can't afford to lose.
Right now, we have no way of knowing where those two Elydian ships are, or where they're going. Another Taconian might be able to at least point us in the right direction.
Or we're the ones pointing him right toward his fellow Takan, making the problem worse.
I am inclined to agree with Commander Rydick. Her logic is sound. This portal may have knowledge that proves to be invaluable, including information on the nature of the Cartabula. We must act on the facts at hand.
Then we'll give it our best.
I'll arrange a meeting with Captain Riker.
And I will speak with the Council. They need to understand the magnitude of the situation. I can leave for Andoria immediately. I wish you luck finding Portal 6-3. The very future of the Federation may rest in your hands.
It takes a minimum of 8 crew on the bridge to run the ship, so we can expect at least that many hostiles.
If they bioformed Hadri, they know we're coming.
Which means everyone needs to be ready for... Take cover!
Now what? We need that door sealed.
We can handle that. Where do you need us?
There's an access panel there. We should be able to patch into the local system.
We'll be shot getting there.
I'll cover you. On my signal. Now!
Looking for the bridge doors. Wait, what's this?
Got something?
Gravity. If I invert the artificial gravity inside the bridge, that'll throw anyone on the bridge right up into the seal.
He'll never see it coming.
Itasca, get ready to charge!
Charge?
Reversing gravity polarity. Now!
Amazing.
Close in!
How do we get them down? What are we gonna do with them?
We don't have time to take prisoners.
So you're just gonna shoot him?
I haven't decided yet.
That's not just up to you.
I'm the ranking officer.
And we're not in your army.
It may not be convenient, but we don't kill enemies who've surrendered.
Keeping prisoners is a luxury we don't have.
It's not a damn luxury.
You're an engineer, not a soldier. This is clearly my territory.
You think you have enemy combatants here? This is a hostage situation. Each one of them has an innocent life inside. I'll keep watch on them.
As will I. We can't let our guard down around the enemy.
Petty Officer Diaz and I will figure out how to stop the ship.
Let's hurry. The rest of the Takan could show up any minute. Crystals. They're all over this place. Look here. It's navigational data.
We saw that already. Headed to the edge of the galaxy.
It's only a display. We couldn't use it to change course or alter speed.
This console looks unaffected. These crystals are Takan technology. They seem to be active, just like the rest of their tech. Tetrametric pulses.
Tetrametric?
It's the energy signature of Takan technology. Everything they make gives off this type of radiation.
They're blocking the inputs. It's not responding at all. Everything I try, it just ignores me.
Maybe we should try that other console.
Good idea.
There are two interfaces on top of each other.
This is not Lydian programming.
Any trouble?
Don't worry about me. stretch over there.
Why?
He's looking for any excuse to vaporize the prisoners. But I'll make sure he doesn't. Even if they're the enemy, it's not right.
I'm here if you need a hand.
Just hurry up and figure out this bridge. That's the best way to help.
Gotta figure this out before we get wherever we're going. If the Resolute can't catch up to us, we're in a whole different kind of trouble. Where's the captain?
Captain Ostego did not survive the atmosphere poisoning.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He died defending the Empire. That's how he'd want it. Careful where you point that thing.
It's not active. I can't see any way this would work as a weapon. It's dead.
Out of ammo?
I'm not sure. Everything under control?
Yes. These Takan haven't made a move. Yet.
And what you're doing is working.
There's plenty more I can do. But it doesn't have to be that way. As long as they behave.
Less than an hour.
We can't let that happen.
Hold on, it would take days to go this distance with our fastest ship. We're traveling at a warp factor many times greater than this ship should even be capable of. What are the engines doing to produce this kind of speed?
This main drive manifold is spiking way over nominal levels.
Very dangerous.
Even at 100% output, the warp cores wouldn't push this much plasma to the drive section.
The reactor output matches the high speed, doesn't it?
Whether it's these crystals, or the power from the Cartabula, Takan have found a way to increase the engine output and top speed. We have to find a way to hit the brakes before we outrun anyone who could help us.
We stop it. So they can't get this ship where they're going, and enact the next phase of their plan. That is, if they don't destroy us all first. I would have thought this ship would disintegrate going this speed.
So what is their endgame? They've transformed individuals, they've transformed this ship. In a way, how far will they go?
As far as we let them. The technology certainly doesn't seem to have limits.
To think what the Cartabula could do if it was plugged into something it was meant to power.
From what I can tell, the ship's systems are actively responding to input.
Which is the opposite of how most bridges work. They usually send commands, not receive them.
It's from an intrusive program. This control station won't do us any good either. What have they done to this bridge?
Consoles running themselves, some clogged up with crystals that are sending off tetrametric pulses.
But none of this is sending signals outward. It's receiving.
They're flying the ship from somewhere else.
That should be impossible. But it explains why there's less than a full bridge crew. If they aren't flying the ship from the bridge, where are they controlling it from?
That's everything. Got some answers.
I don't like what they tell us, though.
If we can learn nothing else, then what's left is to make these Takan talk. And if they don't, we'll dispose of them.
Hey, that's not how we do this.
That is enough from you. I thought that thing was useless.
It was. No power. Until he touched it. Weapons must be biocoded.
Our technology will only work for one of our kind.
I can assure you, this weapon works just fine for me.
Slow down, Arminta.
You can't control the ship with a disruptor.
But I can use it to control you.
Ah!
Let's talk.
The Titan's communications officer says Captain Riker will be ready in just a moment. You need to see this. The report on the data breach.
Damn. It's worse than I'd hoped. They didn't just compromise our shields. They stole the shield algorithms for all of Starfleet as well. Meaning every ship is potentially vulnerable to attack, making this so much worse than it already was.
Given the potential consequences, we should notify Starfleet as soon as possible.
I don't disagree, but I'll reach out to Ambassador Spock about it. I don't want to cause a panic, and I doubt he does either.
I have Captain Riker for you.
Let's not mention any of this shield business to Riker just yet. Put him through. Captain Riker, this is my first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
My pleasure.
Sir.
I wish we were all meeting under better circumstances.
So do I, although you and I have actually met before.
We have?
I was a young lieutenant on the Potemkin. You were first officer on the Tuckerman. I piloted you and our science officer in a shuttle to survey quantum resonance in the planetary rings of Resurgence 6.
Ah, yes. Now I remember.
You know, he gave me some good advice that day about a very difficult job. Yours.
Well, I'm not one to turn down some words of wisdom, sir.
Then let me ask, as first officer on a starship, where does your responsibility lie, first and foremost? To the captain, the crew, or the ship itself?
Oh, this old chestnut. I am curious to hear what she says, though.
My job is to support the captain, carry out his orders, and ensure his safety, even if I disagree with him.
I like that. But the truth is, it's a trick question. Every situation is different, and there are no easy answers. And in some cases, it might not be any of those three. It could be the prime directive. Or the mission.
Yes, so perhaps we should get to the matter at hand. When you were with the Enterprise, you encountered a Takan entity known as Portal 6-3. The Enterprise was held captive in orbit until you were able to convince him to let the ship go.
All of which is detailed in the mission report.
What we want from you is what we can't get from the report. What can we use to get Portal 6-3 to help us?
I've often thought about that over the years. How a small difference in the encounter could have led to disaster. The most important thing is, don't let him push you around. He can appear as a man or as a godlike projection. He'll test you. But don't be overwhelmed by the pageantry and theatrics.
I'll stand up to him. You can trust in that.
Good. But that's just the first step. Portal is full of bluster and bravado, but he can be reasoned with. And that's my other piece of advice. You want to appeal to him rationally. You don't want him thinking you're acting out of fear.
But we are afraid of the Takan, and with good reason.
He's not the sort to suffer fools. And he'll lose interest if he feels his time is being wasted.
I suppose that's one thing we have in common.
Do you think he knows that the Takan have returned?
He didn't even know they were gone when we went there. But the moment the Enterprise dropped into orbit around Delphi Ardu 4, he downloaded the entirety of the ship's computer. So I'd expect the same when you get there.
What if he won't cooperate and we have to face these Takan ourselves?
Then we have a much bigger problem on our hands.
What I mean is, in the 16 years since you discovered this outpost, there has to have been research. Battle plans for what to do about the Takan if we encountered more of them. I need to know what they are.
If I had that answer, it would have been the first thing I told you.
We both know Command has had their share of hidden plans in the past. Like Admiral Hansen and Captain Shelby's Special Projects Division at Starfleet Tactical, devising new ways to take on the board.
Trust me. This isn't some Starfleet conspiracy to keep you in the dark. But if you two don't think you're equipped to make contact, you need to tell me now. Because there is no silver bullet here. Now's not the time to hesitate. I need to know you're up to this.
You're not the only one who's met the Takan anymore. We've faced them in combat. We're not just the right ones for the job. We're the only ones.
All right. Asked and answered. There was a special task force that considered the Takan, and I was part of it. But because there were no other signs of the Empire, we determined the best course of action was to create a restricted zone around the Delphi Ardu system. I have my concerns, but I'll clear the way with the brass for your travel into the restricted space. Just remember what I've told you. And it wouldn't hurt to read some Sun Tzu en route. Or Marcus Aurelius.
Anything else?
Your advice is well taken, Captain Riker. No matter what he throws at us, we'll stand up to this Takan Guardian.
I'm sure you will. Rest assured, the Federation is taking this threat very seriously. You won't be alone out there for too long.
Thank you, Captain Riker.
One more thing. Ambassador Spock said that Takan stole some data from your central computer. What's that all about?
We're still assessing the extent of the breach. Nothing to report as of right now.
That's it? Ambassador Spock suggested it was something more serious. Which is why I'm asking.
One thing we know is that they stole Starfleet shield algorithms.
The shield algorithms? That could jeopardize every ship in the fleet.
We're still making sure our assessment is accurate. We don't want to raise alarms unnecessarily.
This is as real as it gets, Solano. I have to talk to Starfleet Command now, so I think this conversation has come to an end. I really do hope you get Portal 6-3 and find those Takan before this gets out of control. Riker out.
I specifically said I wanted to keep this under wraps. I thought we had an understanding. Now all of Starfleet will hear about this.
Riker's ship is at risk. They all are. I can't believe you would want to keep that from him.
That's one more thing I'll have to answer for. Now I have to think about the damage control of it all. You're dismissed.
It's the automated Federation warning buoy. Transmitting the disable code Captain Riker provided.
That was unpleasant. Commander Ermont, what are the conditions of our systems?
All internal systems operational.
Commander Westbrook, what are your scans of the planet?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
No sign of this outrageously powerful Takan being?
I'm running a magneton scan now, but so far, nothing.
Where are you? Strap your weight, teeth. We don't know if Portal 6-3 will cooperate. He's not an asset. He's an enemy. Be ready for anything.
Prove you're worth keeping alive for a little while longer.
I cannot stop this ship any more than you could stop the tides.
Not good enough.
The impotent threats of a lower life form do not sway me. I will not bend to you. I was born 600,000 years ago. But a new age dawns today.
I liked you a lot better when you were Ryan Kapoor. Pain in the ass sometimes, but a stand-up guy when it counted.
You weren't friends with the one who gave up this body.
He didn't give it, you took it. And all the others.
My name is Zanu Losa. I was born in the final days of the Age of Makto. I am but one of many. We who took a leap of faith across the bridge of time to be reborn in these bodies.
Eventually, one of you will break.
You don't understand how overmatched you truly are. This craft was nothing before we imbued it with the speed required by our mission. And the Cartabula produces enough energy to drive an entire fleet of ships like this one. But when we wake the Aphelion, we won't need a fleet.
The Aphelion?
Only then will you understand the might of the Takan Empire. Reborn in this time.
And when you wake the Aphelion, what are you going to do with it?
Anything we want.
Come on! This goes from bad to worse unless you do what they say.
He's coming alive.
He can't stop the ship.
Then he will. Or we cut off his hands and use them ourselves.
The moment I reduce speed or change our heading, the others will know. First, they'll just resume course from elsewhere. Trivial matter. And then, they will come here. For you, this is a dead end.
That's a risk I'm willing to take.
Not if they're just going to start it again.
So you believe him?
I'm not sure.
Why would you tell us all this?
I tell you, because I value my own life. When my fellow Scions come, and they will come, I expect you'll all act like the savages you are at a battle once. You've all died once. I don't intend to do so again. I won't touch those controls. If you want to get us killed, do it yourselves.
You fear death. There's a way to stop this ship for good, and he knows how. He just needs more pressure.
What kind of pressure?
We hurt him, he'll talk. Trust me.
That's against Starfleet protocol.
You're not on a Starfleet ship. Your protocol does not apply. We take the action that will lead to our victory. Don't assume your moral code takes precedence above all others.
I'm not gonna torture them. Not like this. There's gotta be something we can work with here. This area here?
Power generation. The warp cores.
It's deserted. What's this?
This display shows the location of the Takan on the ship. This is where the infiltrators are, the central artery of ship systems. Sensors, propulsion, weapons. Doesn't seem to be working here.
This is weird. Going this fast, it would be too dangerous to force a warp collapse by cracking one of the propulsion coils. I could rupture the hull, end up damaging the Cartabula in the process.
That risks tearing a hole in space.
We can't have that.
Engine status. Right. The warp cores are still practically redlined. However they've supercharged the Zeldi, it still relies on existing systems.
They just amplify the output?
But the Takan have already interfaced with those systems. The controls will be no use. So we'd have to find a way to manually shut down the warp cores.
Might not be a manual shutdown as much as it'll be sabotage.
No one appears to be guarding it. I think I can get us there. But once we're in, do you really think you can cripple my ship? Not something I'd normally ask. But I'm coming around to it.
You just worry about getting us there. I'll handle the rest.
This plan of yours has one problem. It strands us. Left out of the fight when there is a war going on.
Our fight is here, now. This is how we do the most good. For the Empire.
For the Empire.
So, Carter, you didn't beam out after all. I thought you'd escaped when we boarded. I'd almost hoped you'd made it off. And Millie's there with you two, right? It's good you two are together.
Sounds like you miss me.
Miranda might have. She was so hopeful about you. But that's not why I called. You're not a fighter. I know it. You know it. That's why you're hiding. Somewhere on this ship. But the Takan Empire has so much to offer you. Think of all the knowledge lost for 500,000 years that you'd have access to. I know you want more from life, and I want to show you what you could be a part of. Not just the wonders you've already seen from us. In our time, we had the power to move stars. Carter, you have a thirst for discovery.
You don't know what you're doing. Miranda, we can help you, but you have to fight.
Miranda is a part of us now. She's accepted that.
You're lying.
I have no reason to lie. Every one of us on this crusade has fought wars more brutal and consuming than you could fathom. But I want to reach a peaceful resolution to this. Carter, we have a plan for you. And for the others, too. We don't want to have to destroy you.
You think there's some sort of compromise to be had here? After all you've done? The only end of this is when you surrender.
After all we've done? You can't think we give up now. We can continue this conversation in person. I'll see you on the bridge very soon.
Her comm badges. She's tracking our location with them.
If we have to use force to free our fellow Scions, there will be casualties.
We can't stay here. And we need to disable the transmitters.
Where'd you go? You don't want to talk to me?
She's trying to keep you talking.
I mean, I get it. But I'm trying to help you. You're still there. I think that's because you know we have something to offer you. And you're starting to do the math. And realizing that making peace with us is better than the alternative.
I don't know who you are, but you're on borrowed time. Miranda, if you're in there, I will find a way to get you back. Keep fighting. Got it.
Mine's done too.
Time to hit the road.
You've forgotten something. They know where we're going.
Set to stun. You're not going to shoot a guy who's unconscious, are you?
You keep getting in my way.
We've managed this far without doing it your way.
We are hardly in control of this situation. And now we have loose ends.
You two forget you're on the same side? Come on! Now let's move it.
Our coordinates match the exact location where Riker met Portal 6-3.
Unlike Riker's team, we beamed down without a problem.
It's quiet.
Portal has to know we're here.
If he won't come to us, we'll go to him. Spread out.
Already gave it a scan. Dead. Whole planet feels like it's been turned to stone.
Doctor?
Commander? Keeping an eye on those Duridium levels? Good. Last thing we need are your cells destabilizing on a hostile alien planet.
If I recall right, Geordi LaForge transported in here, hanging upside down.
I guess we're lucky we were spared the indignity.
Anything unusual, Commander?
It's all unusual, to be honest. We've precious little data on this planet, so brief was Captain Riker's visit. Anything he didn't see himself is a total unknown.
We deal with unknowns all the time. Part of the job.
I'm accustomed to dealing with the unknown from my station on the bridge.
This is where Portal 6-3 projected his image.
He was guarding this bridge. That has to mean something.
We'll move forward when you're ready, Commander.
Follow me. Ends here. Is it me, or did that path just disappear?
There was a path there a moment ago.
There must be an explanation.
Tetrametric pulses.
Same energy as the other Takan technology.
Most of the crystals appear dormant. What's different about this one?
Readings indicate there's a cavity in the rock right behind it.
We could try melting a hole through the wall with our phasers.
Worth a try. Nothing.
There's gotta be a weakness. Somewhere it isn't totally solid. Whoa!
An illusion.
I'm sure that wall was as real as the rest of them. I felt it.
It's almost like our holodeck technology, but far more advanced.
The crystals must be absorbing the energy from our phasers.
I'm picking up something. A biosignature. It's faint, but it's there.
With me.
Another dead end.
Or another illusion.
Crewman LaRue, if you would.
Duval to Resolute. Beam Crewman LaRue directly to medical.
Is he okay?
He'll live.
Not all crystals work the same, it seems.
Don't fire your phasers at any crystals unless we're sure they're putting out the same pulses as before.
Commander, I may be able to speed up the process. I can now detect many different wavelengths of radiation simply by looking. The Takan radiation is unusual, so I can't quite clear it all up, but I was able to eliminate many of the non-tetrametric crystals. Your tricorder should warn you.
That's an enormous help. Thank you, Lieutenant.
It's my honor.
Tetrametric. Good sign.
Commander!
Look at that.
Trust, but verify.
Indeed.
We don't have any data about what's below the surface on Delphi Ardu 4. And I don't feel a particularly strong urge to find out.
Then that makes two of us. I wonder if this place was always so lifeless.
Aside from the breathable atmosphere, this is a remarkably inhospitable planet. Traces indicate there was once living flora, but it's been dead so long it's practically turned to stone.
From what Portal told Riker, it was an outpost to defend the far edge of the Takan Empire.
Well, it's not that now. Now, it's a grave.
Good. Tetrametric. Better go see what's different.
make sure it's safe.
Incredible.
The plants here are actually alive. Is this the biosignature you detected, Doctor?
No. Not a match.
Tetrametric.
Then it's creating an illusion as well.
Based on the data we have so far.
Only one thing left to do.
Doctor, be ready to beam us out if it turns out we're wrong.
Duval to Resolute. Lock transporter on away team.
Amazing.
There's nothing like this in any Federation record.
The plans.
Barbarians.
It's him.
How dare you disturb me? I'd hoped you had enough sense to leave of your own accord, but here you stand. Fools. In another time, I would have destroyed you and your ship simply for setting foot in this place. Fortunately for you, that time has passed.
Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takan Empire. We've come a long way to meet you.
Guardian? I am guardian of nothing. The Takan no longer exist. Don't care to be reminded. If this is why you've come, then you should leave. Now.
I'll cut right to it. The Takan have returned.
Returned? My people have come back? How can that be? I've been alone for so long. If it is true, how did they return?
Taconian technology made it possible. To enable the transfer of consciousness from one being to another after physical death. We call it bioforming. A group of Taconians calling themselves Scions of the Flame used it to reawaken after hundreds of millennia.
Scions of the Flame?
Is something wrong?
I'd hardly call them Takan. They were a radical faction with beliefs outside the mainstream. Beliefs that lesser life forms should serve as vessels to ensure Takan immortality. You want me to help you destroy them. That's why you've come. You want to destroy these Scions.
You don't have to do anything except help us find them. If that's all you want to do.
I don't believe that.
They have an incredibly powerful energy source they call the Cartabula.
These Scions have the Cartabula.
And they've used it as a weapon against us.
I will speak with you alone.
What are you doing? Where are we? Where's my team?
They're safe where we left them. That the Scions have stolen the Cartabula is deeply concerning. And to be honest, I'd rather speak with you alone, John Rydick. Your colleagues don't know what it means to be the last of one's kind. You and I are remnants of fallen civilizations. The Kobliad, the Tekon. One dying, one dead. Our species could not be more different, but we both know the meaning of loss. The others wouldn't understand. It's beyond their ability to comprehend.
But I'm not alone in the Federation. I'm a part of something larger, just like your Tekon Empire was.
We are not the same. Tell me, why spend your days away from your own people when so few of them are left? Why live your life working for this federation to which the Kobliad do not even belong? And submit yourself to their authority? It makes no sense. Not by my logic.
The Federation isn't an authority to be obeyed. At its heart, it's a set of principles meant to ensure the survival and safety of all species, regardless of their origin. You told Riker you'd wait until you were needed. You're needed now. We need you.
As much as it pains me to learn the Cartabula has fallen into the hands of the Scions, my services are not up for offer. To be chosen as a portal was to give one's entire self to the cause of protecting the Tekon Empire. I left behind everything I'd known, and now you want me to turn against my own people. Betrayal of my oath, and everything I vowed to protect.
These aren't the Tekon you knew. They're a facsimile. They're imposters. And they tarnish the Tekon name.
We faced these questions in my time as well. What you call bioforming, we thought of as a marginal science. But if these reborn Tekon plan to restore the Empire, is that a disaster to be avoided? Tekonian technology is so advanced, it could save millions of species currently on the brink of extinction, including your own. And at the price of a small few, think of how the many could benefit. Instead, it sounds as if you are reacting out of fear before you have a full understanding of what's at stake. I don't think you've given this full consideration. You may have more to gain than to lose.
That's not a decision we're just going to let these new Tekon make for us. We will fight them back. In fact, I doubt anyone would willingly give themselves up to bioforming.
The Trill do just that. There are many symbiotic relationships among species.
To mutual benefit, not replacement.
You said you will not give up, even when faced with the superiority of the Tekon. If I were in your place, I might say the same. I'm curious to see these Scions masquerading as true Tekon. So I will go with you, and we shall find them. But when we do, I will judge them myself as a guardian of the Tekon. To understand their true intentions, for better or worse.
It's certainly your right to make your own decisions. I won't tell you otherwise.
Very well. I'll return.
Commander!
Hold your fire. I'm all right. He's coming with us.
We assumed the worst.
He's perfectly fine. Now then, shall we?
All right. We can beam up your Do you have any equipment or tools?
Whoa.
This is all I need.
Away team +1, ready to beam up.
Four warp cores. That's interesting.
Redundancy. If one goes down in battle, we can still operate.
Makes this more difficult, though.
This ship can maintain warp with half the cores offline. We'll need to disable 3 of them.
Where are the engine schematics? Power flow routing charts.
We're soldiers, not engineers. I thought you would know what to do.
We understand how to operate it under normal conditions.
You're in good hands. We can do this.
I trust that you can.
You at least know where we should start?
This way.
What are we dealing with? Cores are running really hot. Makes sense, since they've been producing at max output since we left Otari space.
No ship can run for very long like that. Not before a catastrophic failure hits.
It's right on the edge. We just need to figure out a way to give it a push.
Bet that console down there could tell us a few things. Whatever we do, we need to make sure the Takan can't undo it.
So we need a way to permanently disable the reactors that won't destroy the ship and kill us all in the process.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Warp core ejection. So the question is, how do we make it happen? The reactor coolant system is operating at emergency containment levels.
It's just barely keeping the temperature in check.
Maybe we can use that. If it gets this high, their system considers a reactor breach imminent. Like we saw on the bridge, all 4 warp cores are operating at full capacity. The safety protocols don't look much different from the Resolute. Breach protection. Reduce output, command override. Cease matter, antimatter flow, command override. Emergency warp core ejection. Computer control.
Even command functions can't override one of the most crucial safety measures.
So the protocol's still active. That's good. Looks like if sensors show a core is about to rupture, the computer will eject it automatically rather than risk a breach.
So we need to increase the warp core's temperatures.
If we destroy the coolant regulators, there won't be anything to keep these reactors from going over.
And it will trigger the ejection. Let's peel these suckers open. I'll take that one.
I'll take the one next to it.
The second you two start dumping cores, the Takan will know we're here.
We'll be vulnerable. Stuck in one place while you work.
We will have to make a stand.
Well, here's the good news. I'm at my best when I'm under pressure.
We'll barricade the door. Work quickly.
We might not have our tools, but our phasers can do this in a pinch. We better get this right. If we foul it up and this whole thing goes boom... You don't know how much damage that Cartabula will do.
Look on the bright side. If it all goes to hell, we won't be around to see the fallout.
That certainly inspires confidence. It's not a Starfleet warp core, but the coolant regulator has to be in here somewhere.
Things up.
Warning. Warning. Warp core output at critical level. Ejecting core.
Okay, now they're definitely gonna know we're down here.
Warp core output at critical level. Ejecting core.
Just one more to go.
They're here.
They're cutting through the door. We don't have much time.
Okay, same as before. We just got it. I'll cover you.
What? No!
Get the word. We're all dead.
Disengaged.
You did it.
You got another way out of here?
I think so. Can you climb?
I'll see you on the parade grounds of Sorella, my friend. want me? I'm right here. You too.
Calm yourself, child. It will all be better soon. Rejoin the flame.
To reclaim what was lost.
You don't need to watch this.
I do. I want to remember every moment when I make them pay. But this isn't the end. I will avenge Itasca. Swear to me, you will join me in this.
How about we try to save her?
That's a dream.
As long as she's alive and her memories are still in there, there's still hope.
Hope is what you turn to when you have nothing left you can do. And there's still something I can do for Itasca. And I shall.
There's so much I want to ask you.
There's so little I can tell you. I'm a portal, not a scientist, but I'll certainly do my best. I can only assume this is one of your older starships. One would think, given the importance of your mission, they might send a ship of a more recent vintage.
The Resolute is primarily a research vessel, if that's what you mean. Not a warship.
Although she has been known to hold her own in a fight.
Against what?
Something wrong?
Not at all. The galaxy has grown more diverse since the days of the Takon Empire.
Because you conquered everyone who didn't look like you.
To the contrary. Most lesser civilizations willingly join the Empire to enjoy the benefits of an advanced way of life. But that expansion came with its own set of problems, so I admire your ability to diversify without creating conflict. That was always our challenge. And perhaps, ultimately, our downfall.
The Federation prides itself on its inclusiveness. I'd say it's one of our greatest strengths.
As the Vulcans say, infinite diversity in infinite combinations.
Interesting. I'd be curious to meet one of these Vulcans. If this is the best you have, then so be it. To locate this scion, Galvan, I'll need full access to your ship's systems.
Full access?
Huh. You must be out of your mind.
No, I'm right here, completely in my mind. Given this is merely a research ship, I won't be able to find him without it. Perhaps I should have made that clear up front. I'll need to make certain modifications.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Excellent.
Solano's gonna flip when he hears this.
I'll see you on the bridge. Captain Solano, I'd like to introduce you to Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takan Empire.
Pleasure to meet you, Captain.
Likewise. I can't say I've ever met a portal before. There is no modern equivalent. Not within the Federation, at least.
He's been kind enough to agree to help us find Galvin.
I am at your service. To whatever extent I can be of help.
If nothing else, I'm sure you're happy for a change of scenery. You spent 600,000 years at your post. That certainly takes an uncommon level of dedication.
We all have our duty.
Of course. But I'm curious. You were stationed there in preparation for what, exactly?
Any and all threats to the Empire.
An empire that no longer exists. Which suggests you weren't very successful.
You said you needed my help. I didn't come here to be insulted. Perhaps that was a mistake. I'd be happy to return to Delphi Ardu at any time.
You'll have to forgive him. I'm sure he meant nothing by it.
I know exactly what he meant. His disrespect speaks for itself.
I'm merely curious where your allegiances might lie. And clearly it's with the Takan.
Yes, Captain. You have found me out and exposed my true loyalties. To the Takan. Not to the Scions of the Flame, who do nothing more than tarnish us in name and reputation and don't deserve to be called Takan. That's why I'm here. And if you'd be so kind as to give me access to your ship's systems, we can get on with it. And you can stop wasting my time.
Access to our systems? That's completely out of the question. Tell me that's not what you promised. We're vulnerable enough as it is. And now we're supposed to give him access to everything?
Captain, I know it's a risk. But right now it's our best shot at finding Galvin and that ship.
Here she was, naive enough to believe it wouldn't be a problem. Little did she realize the levels of ignorance and incompetence she was up against.
If you're not enjoying your visit to our ship, we'd be more than happy to let you wither away back on your pathetic little rock.
Captain?
You clearly do not appreciate the magnitude of the threat the Scions pose. So myopic is your focus on your own ego. I will not be leaving until they have been found.
Commander Rydek, a word.
And to think, I waited 600,000 years for this.
You realize this puts me in an incredibly difficult position. I was against seeking him out from the start, but now, to give him access to our systems? It's insane. And you somehow expect me to believe his allegiance is with us? You heard what he said in there. There's no way we can trust him.
We talked about this on Delphi Ardu. The reason he's here is because he's with us, not them. He came to help us, and he wouldn't be here otherwise.
We can't afford to get this wrong.
We sought him out for a reason. To help him find our missing crew, Galvin, and those Elydian ships. This is the plan we agreed to with Ambassador Spock.
Which I never liked. But here we are. You know what this mission means to us. Not just for the Federation, but for me personally. I can't afford another screw-up. Losing the shield algorithms was bad enough. This could be the end of my career.
We'll take every precaution to make sure we get what we need. I'll keep a close eye on him myself.
I appreciate that. I'm going to trust your instincts on this one. I just hope you're right. For both of our sakes. Let me know if you find anything.
We're good. You may begin.
I will, of course, have to make a few modifications.
What kind of modifications?
To find Taconian technology requires Taconian technology. If this Scion Galavan modified his ships, then I must do likewise to yours. The galaxy is nearly infinite in size and complexity. This may take a moment.
How long will it
I found
take?
something. There you are.
What is it? Galvin?
Someone is using Draconian technology. I can't get the precise bearings, but it's located in the Palisades cluster.
I'll let the captain know. Rydick to Solano. I think Portal may have located Galvin.
I'll be right there.
I'm getting all kinds of interference. Almost impossible to lock on the energy signature.
Where's he hiding?
In the Palisades cluster.
Interesting. Can you lock in on the location?
Not until you get me closer.
Lieutenant Handar, set a course for the Palisades cluster.
Aye, Captain.
Well, I suppose I owe you an apology. You were right after all. That's what I get for questioning the advice of my first officer. You always have my back.
I'm just glad it worked, and we were able to track him down.
Which wouldn't have been possible without your determination. So thank you for that. Nice work. Let me know if you find anything more.
Will do. What's wrong?
I didn't want to say anything until I was certain. But the reason for the interference is simple. There's a Draconian device on this ship being used to block the signal. Whoever planted it was exceptionally clever. They knew how and where to hide it. But they have underestimated my abilities.
Engineering.
Take care of the Draconian device, and I can find Galvin for you. It's designed to interfere with all transmissions, or at least delay and confuse the effort to find Galvin's ship.
Why would you trust me with this?
I cannot be sure I trust anyone on this ship, but you and I came to an understanding on Delphi Ardu. That will have to be enough.
Don't worry, I'll get this fixed. We're going to find that ship. Engineers would have found this device already if it wasn't well hidden. Better to rely on my tricorder. There's a lot of noise in here. I should scan the device putting out the most radiation to filter it out. That's better. Most other radiation sources in here are well contained. There's definitely tetrametric radiation nearby. But even with the gain boosted, it's getting drowned out by other sources of radiation in here. Jeffrey's tubes thump harmonics from all over the ship. I'll filter that out. There's still something drowning out the tetrametric radiation. I need to find it so I could filter it out as well. A little bit of harmless radiation leakage here, but enough to mask the tetrametric pulses. Easy enough to cancel out. There we go. I'm getting a clear tetrametric signal now. Found it.
Excuse me. Do you belong here? Commander Rydick. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was you.
Paul. Calloway, right?
Yes. You know, it means a lot that you remembered. What, are you doing back here? I don't mean to pry, but first officers don't usually go digging around engineering compartments.
Just a routine systems check. We've been having problems with our comms lately.
Oh, that's news to me. I haven't heard anything about it.
Probably because the comm system isn't working. Have you seen anyone else in here recently that might seem out of the ordinary? Maybe someone who doesn't work in engineering.
Not that I can think of, but I can ask around. I'm here almost all the time, but maybe someone else noticed something?
That would be great. Just be discreet about it. I don't want anyone to be alarmed.
Discretion is my specialty. Well, I'll leave you alone already. Oh, come to think of it, that Hotari woman was down here earlier with Dr. Duvall finishing the last of the bioscans.
Tylus?
That would be out of the ordinary, right?
Thank you. Maybe Tylus saw something. Tylus, can I speak to you for a moment?
Of course. Is something wrong?
There's something happening. I may need your help. This is important.
How can I help?
When you were in engineering with Dr. Duvall, did you notice anything out of the ordinary? Or anyone?
Not particularly. Why?
I found this, hidden in a compartment down there.
That's Taconian technology. Does that mean there's a Scion on board? But Dr. Duvall bioscanned everyone. Every deck, every crew member, I've seen the logs. She couldn't have been more thorough.
Someone evaded detection and planted that device.
Which would mean they've been with us this whole time. Watching, listening.
All the more reason why we have to find them.
It could be anyone.
That includes both of us.
You want me to get scanned? Better to know for sure, right? I'll admit, I was around the Scions as much as anybody.
I would feel more comfortable if you did.
I understand.
Clear.
Now it's your turn.
Sure.
Clear.
Don't sound so surprised.
You spend plenty of time with the Scions as well. You never know.
Let's get to it. The search starts in engineering. Whoever planted the device most likely did it within the last few hours. So I'll start by running a scan, tracking everyone who came through engineering over the last day, in reverse order.
This could take forever to sort through the number of people that were in engineering.
Filtering for outliers. People who don't work in engineering.
That helps.
Cross-referencing this list with everyone who's traveled to Hotari.
This is manageable.
I'll filter out the duplicates. Let's see who's left. No, this can't be right.
What?
Of the people that went to Hotari and visited engineering, it could only have been Captain Solano.
According to this, he was here while you went down to Delphi Ardu 4. Which would have been the perfect opportunity. And no one would question him. He's the captain.
I've known Captain Solano for almost my entire life. I wouldn't be here. Or who I am without his help and guidance. If this is true. If they really got him. Then this is just devastating.
I know it doesn't look good, but we don't know for sure. Not yet.
What happened when Dr. Duval bioscanned Captain Solano?
That's just it. She never did.
How is that possible?
Something more urgent would always come up. There was nothing she could do. But performing a bioscan is the only way to be absolutely sure.
That's not going to be easy. First thing I need to do is get this device to Portal.
Be careful. And good luck.
I'll need it. I found the device.
Interference is gone. I have located Galvin's ship more precisely. He's in the Usonia system.
So then it worked.
This whole region was one of the most sacred for the ancient Takan. What many consider the birthplace of our civilization. See these comets and planetoids in the outer orbits? Based on their current trajectory, that's Galvin's destination. And legend tells us it's the location of what was once our largest arsenal. Not that we needed it in the late stages of the Empire, but it was there as a precaution nonetheless.
What kind of weapons are in this arsenal?
It's difficult to know what would have survived from the time of the Empire, but be assured that the damage they have done so far by altering your current technology will be minuscule compared to proper Taconian firepower. If Galvin and the other Scions secure the arsenal, they will become extremely dangerous. My people had such power at the height of the Empire. The Takan were as gods, keeping absolute control over countless worlds. I must speak with them directly. However, the presence of this device is worrying. It's highly likely it was placed here by a Scion, hidden among your crew. And it is unlikely this interference device was the Scion Saboteur's only trap. If we reach Galvin and the Saboteur cripples your ship, we will be at their mercy. Even my powers will not be able to protect us. Do you know who it is? They may well do more damage if left alone. Time is not on your side.
I'm fairly convinced they bioformed Captain Solano.
I knew there was a reason I didn't like him. That explains it. Bioforming was so rare in the time of the Empire that I am not able to detect if it has taken place. Proof of your claim is something you will have to produce yourself.
Then we have to bioscan him. I'll talk to Dr. Duval.
It's quite the claim. Told me you were worried about him. I never imagined this was what was wrong.
I wouldn't be asking you if there was any other possibility.
That would explain why Solano has been too busy for a bioscan lately.
As the ship's doctor, you have the authority to declare him unfit to serve.
If you're right, this is the worst case scenario. Challenging your own captain is a tall order. Are you sure you're prepared for this? If you fail, that's it. The end of your career. Maybe your life.
I don't know if I would be on my own, but with your support, I'm sure we can do it.
That smooth talking may come in handy. I'm in. But we can't pull this off with just the two of us. I technically have the authority to make Solano undergo a scan, but in reality, he can and will refuse to do it. We need at least another member of the senior staff to support your claim, or this could all blow up in our faces. You better think long and hard about who you can trust.
Down to one reactor. Thought we'd be stopped dead. At least stuck at impulse power.
The Takan enhancements must be able to brute force limited bursts of warp output.
Yeah. They won't get to wherever they were headed at this rate. They're just limping along now.
So where does that put us?
Maybe I can answer that. I got the ship's heading.
They've changed course. Drastically.
Looks like they're headed here. Usonia system. They might stop there.
Can we use the Zeldi's comms to signal your fleet?
Comm systems are locked.
Grab hold! The inertial dampeners can barely keep up. They keep forcing this ship to make these short warp jumps. They're going to tear it apart.
Zeldi is still made by a Lydian hand, despite all this Takan corruption. We'll hold.
We just gotta stay safe until Starfleet can find us.